Greetings, farmers. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22. We ain't done. I ain't done. I like these games. Stardew Valley is about to have an update. He pledged. It's gonna make it to consoles very soon, October, something like that. But you know, I'm not actually sure if I have another Stardew Valley in me. It does, like, the update details say it's got, like, a lot in it. He added another mine, a bunch more relics. I think there's actually new crops and things. Like, I think he really went all the way and, like, updating. It's just, like, I gotta be honest. I have played Stardew Valley to death, and it is still just, you know, like, it's a game from 2015, you know, like, it only goes so far in terms of replayability, whereas like a game like this that's essentially just an open-ended thing that they've patched 1,000,000 pounds of DLC into, that, you know, like, I could probably burn a lot more hours farming on a game like this on the channel than that. Now, that being said, I don't necessarily know if it'll stick around on the channel. It's going to be around for a while because I'm having a good time, you know what I mean? You guys don't... I haven't hit the point where I'm oh my god, this is the worst cut I've ever done. But I gotta replow it all in a minute anyway, so it's fine. It's... This is why I wanted to play it, right? Because, so it looked interesting, right? It never looked interesting. It looked way too simmy to me, this game. It looked like a very, 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 very boring game. And even some of my friends who'd played it when it was free, you know, because they kind of play every game that's free because they're cheap or whatever. You know, they typically like this, like, it's like it's a bored game, yeah. Like, this is the kind of game that you'd play if you were bored. And I was like, well, I'm not going to ever be that bored. But then I saw Markiplier play it, and very typical Markiplier play. You know, he played it like just a spastic, just like an animal. With his buds, of course, because that's how he does most of his content these days for his podcast. But they, he's having so much trouble keeping on task that I was like, well, I never actually got to see what the game was like underneath, so I gave it a try myself. Well, that was when I was like, so it'd be fun to see me give it a try on the channel, right? Like, wouldn't the channel like to see me suffer trying to get through the opening of this game? But I had a feeling, you know, this was going to be a lot to understand. And we'll get into why in just a hot minute, but suffice it to say, it turned out to be that it was. So I gave it a little preview sesh myself a little earlier on the day. Took a couple hours, actually. I had to do some online, like, watching, online reading. They have a academy, that's what they call it, for learning how to play this game. But here's the core issue of this game, right? Number one, it's, you know, it's not a very good game. Which, it's probably not meant to be a good game. It's a good simulator. They were like, we're going to put in the basics, the concepts, the foundation of farming, and it's one of those if you build it they'll come situation. People who want to play farming will find it. And while that's, you know, like, you can go that way, it's just like you could have gone a lot further to, like, make this. But again, it's not, you don't have to. You called it Farming Simulator 22. People know what they're getting themselves into. So there's that, and that's like, it's super rough around the edges just to understand the basic concepts of what you're doing. They have captured farming so authentically, the way some of these devices work, the way some of the ways you interact with the universe works, the way time works, the way light works, that it's not fun. It's really just designed to present you with the challenges you would be if you were actually, like, farming in this weird little virtual world on your PlayStation. And that's kind of neat, but it's hard to learn. So it takes you a really long time just to get to the point where you're like, okay, how do I, like, get the stuff? Like, how do I actually get the stuff out of the earth? So, the first thing you really have to do is learn, like, to buy stuff. And again, because the game is not a game, it's just a sim, just buy it. Don't put too much thought into it, just buy what you think you need. And also, most importantly, you're going to throw your first save away. Even if you start on easy, you're going to throw your first save away because it is way too hard to understand these concepts, to not accidentally mess up your game in a way that you're eventually going to be like, gosh darn it, I don't want to play, you know, like I wish I hadn't done that. Now that being said, this one has 3 maps, so maybe it's like you screw around in one of the maps to get to, but I wanted to actually challenge myself, like, to play the game. My goal was going to be to see if I could actually buy the whole map, which maybe I won't include you guys in that whole journey. Maybe that's just going to be something I do. But I was definitely going to start with you guys and see if it picked up any traction, if anybody got really interested in it. Oh god. For starters. Stop the engine. And then, are you on? You're on. Close the cover. And then let's head back to Deform. I haven't actually been doing the math. Maybe in the editing process I'll do the math to figure out how much, if I'm actually, you know, like burning, I guess profiting. I guess the top doesn't need to be. Oh god. It's so, you know, like, and then that's the second thing, right? So number one, it's difficult because it's not a good game. It's a good simulator, it's not a good game. So it is just difficult on principle to do the things. Number two, it's a PC game, okay? And it's obviously like a AA level PC game, you know, made by some people who were like, we want to make some money, we want to sell it, but we don't necessarily want to take all the time to QA it and make it like perfect for people's experiences, because it's the PC market, right? People are just going to deal if the game is good. Who cares if the menus are weird and the buttons are weird? Anyway, it's one of them, and then they ported it to the PlayStation. And apparently Sony just doesn't care if you port your game to their console and it's barely playable on their like default sticks, you know, as long as you can like, I guess, pass a test that all the functions in the game work. It's just like, who cares if you gotta like put your hand in a literal pretzel to make the DualShock 2 do it. Anyway, this is one of them games where they were just like, yeah, you know, they'll figure it out. And then the last most, maybe not frustrating, but certainly the most, and let's like address it right now. If you saw the last episode, I wanted to talk about it last episode. It's got the intro on it, super Americana, old, you know, like grizzled white guy and his daughter working on the farm. He ain't forgot, we ain't forgot, blah, 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 right? It's obviously not made by some actual Americans, right? Which, oh, there we go. Auto start. Yes. Stop and go braking, keep the breaker but to all, yes. No, screw that. Screw that. Screw that. Thank you. But point is, you know, like it ships with all the default for the UK, and I don't know if that means like Canada, the actual like physical UK, Australia, New Zealand. The point is, some people who ain't in America actually made this game and tried their best to simulate America, and I don't know why. I mean, for the licensing, for the money, for the game, you know, like obviously that's what, you know, like we're going to make Farming Simulator about the like plains of Scotland. No, man, it's going to be about some old school farms in America. Anyway, so there's like a translation barrier to everything, and it's not a really harsh translation barrier where it's just like, they didn't know the word for it. It's like, no, they used another weird English word for it, which is a thing you encountered a lot in Power Wash Simulator. And I don't know if it's the same development studio or if maybe there's just a studio over there, like a publisher out there that's like helping these games get made or whatever, you know, and they're all from the same place, so they do all the localization or whatever. But it's just like remarkably, you know, Queen's English versus American English, even though it's trying its hardest to emulate America. So that being said, So what I did was I went on YouTube, you know, that's my muse, and I watched a couple of videos. I'm actually going to I'll link to it, because it's if you like this game, and we're going to keep playing this game ain't going anywhere. You know, if you like this game, you might like this video. It kind of goes through everything you need to, everything they fixed, right? Because this is a long series of games. This is the 3rd or 4th game in the series now. And okay, so that's wheat, and they're currently buying it at the grain mill. Yeah, like, Goldcrest Valley is far. But I think I will eventually have to go there. But since I got you guys, you know, riding with me, can take the long route. Maybe, you know, editing Phoenix will help me out, but it's like this to see the map. And where am I going? All the way up there? How do I get up there? Man. For real? For real? For real? I said, super sim. Hey, look at you failing me. Look at you failing me. I had so much work to do to optimize this setup. Just, yeah, I'm scared to take that route you were directing me. It looked real, you know, like shaky on the navigation halfway there. Can it plant a route? This. Okay. That's right, like in American English it would just be like set waypoint, toggle blah blah blah, but since it was obviously like an English translation to English so that they could accommodate a bunch of other languages, it's just like, I don't know. Where am I? I'm still slowly chunking it up. I gotta cross this bridge. Anyway, what this video led me to was kind of the backstory of the series, because I have seen a few of these in the past, but I've never played one before, never even booted one up. I claimed them both because, you know, Sony gave them to me, and I was like, I'm gonna definitely try it one day, but, you know, it was always like, really? Today's the day you're gonna play the farming game? Anyway, today's the day I'm playing the farming game, and I was having some trouble with it, so I just started watching videos of people who actually play the game, right? See if they actually, how they do this. I don't know if you can spill, if it can be tipped, if all that stuff, so I'm just trying to be careful. Some of the gamers I watched were really meticulous with their driving, and I don't know if that's because they were being careful for the truck's sake, you know, like you can do damage to your stuff, or if you can have like a tip-over situation or whatever. There's traffic, and you can cause traffic jams, and I know you can do damage to cars that way, but it doesn't seem to be too nightmarishly, like, serious. I don't remember which way. Well, that goes into the water, so clearly that's not the route. Interesting. The music's not so bad. Anyway, this game, the PC version anyway, was really supported by the modding community, you know? I assume that's kind of how it wound up on PlayStation, is because it was that popular with the modding community that they were finally like, alright, let's get some of that console money, you know, because they do have seasons worth of DLC packed into these things. And as you can see, like, all the tools, all the trucks, all the resources, they're all branded. So I'm assuming they're getting checks from everybody for, you know, every purchase or whatever, but to or from everybody. I don't know how it's licensed anyway. Some of these simulator games actually do get decent licenses, you know, like HGTV or whatever, so we're gonna go around this route. Rock Channel's not bad. I don't know how many channels there were. Last time I got stuck. I got hooked on the classical channel, but I also didn't have the volume up too high because I was doing it, you know, while I was doing something else in life. Now, what I wanted to verify before I do this, because this is one of the places where I think you can, you know, like you can buy businesses like Grand Theft Auto style, but you can also make the businesses do stuff for you with your products. And I wanted to see if this was how you turned wheat into flour. Versus, I don't know why I went all the way around this way, but I guess maybe I was hoping there was another one. I mean, how screwed am I if I buy this? I'm about to drop stuff off here, and it's far. Just do it. You'll never know if you don't. The building has been purchased. Great. Manage production point. Never done this, so might be edited out. Okay, so. So since I own it, when I drop things here, then I have access to this stuff? Bet. Is this my car now? It'd be sweet if I got this car. There's a lot of cars on the map. I don't, like, I get that there's some level of authenticity, but, like, the traffic feature is nice because they're on the street, but sometimes it's just, like, cars that just, like, live places. So, you gonna do that without me? No. I guess I'll wait. Get like a cinematic cam for the load. Okay. So yeah, so now it's doing something. It is making wheat flour. Owned by my farm. Which is not the name of my farm anymore. Did it not save it? I took great pains to change... I guess I have to actually change the name of the farm to this game. It's fine. Okay, so now I have wheat flour. So what do I do with wheat? Can I get it? How do I get it? Distributing. Well, so if I'm storing, how do I get it? Maybe this thing here? Storing is just like, I'm keeping it. So, knowing this game, you have to switch it to distributing. Oh, the number's going down. No, no, wheat is going down, it's turning to flour. Wheat is turning to flour. Which is good. But I want it, is the thing. It's fine. So this, I can't, like, get my stuff from here, right? Right, no. Let's take a trip around the thing and see if this does it. I'll watch some videos when I'm offline to figure it out, maybe even play offline. I don't know if everybody wants to see every step of the way. Maybe you guys just want to check in with me periodically, but... stuff like this, like nobody wants to watch me sit here and like try and figure this part out. But sometimes it's that simple. But not this time. That's fine. I'll figure that out later. I still have stuff to do back at the farm. When you buy it, you wind up with, well, so I don't, like it's not, there's no order to it. You don't have to buy. You don't even have to buy. You can just do contracts for the area of the characters if you just want to do out the various functions. But point being, on hard, the economy is like razor thin, right? So you have to make the money to do things. So theoretically, if you run out of money, then you would have to do some of that contracts. But I thought I figured out enough of the game to actually kind of forego that part of the game, kind of forego that section. What do you have to say? Build mode to customize my farm. Yeah, I already figured that out. I just wanted to see what the other crop they gave me for. So I chose to buy the first numbered space, because my plan was to just go from 1 to... Okay, so my Canova is ready to harvest over here as well. Before I learned how to quick teleport, man, that was frustrating. You know, like all them buttons on the screen doesn't tell you that you just press right to go to your other vehicles, and you got so many darn vehicles. I know I'm tearing up my land, but I think it's okay as long as you don't have the thresher down. Thresher. Yeah, so it was heavily modded. Anyway, a lot of the mods that made the other versions super popular, whoa! They finally added into the game in this version. Like, this is the first version, at least, you know, based on some of the YouTube videos I watched, that really has everything that everybody wanted to be in the other versions together. They added weather, they added the used store for vehicles, just some of the stuff that the vehicles do, you know, like it was previously like players had to mod those features into the game, and now the developers have finally gone to the back. So this is, as far as I can tell, kind of the optimum version of the game, and this is from a couple of years ago. So it's even been patched a few times by now, you know, to kind of tip-top shape. And the sequel's definitely on the way. I got to get the impression this is a franchise that's going to die out anytime soon. So it will be interesting to see if the next one is more like a championship edition of this, where they just like add new features to it, / turned into a live service type of game, or if it's going to be the sort of thing that has a lot of big changes to it because they kind of perfected the formula this time around, you know. So it's like, all right, we've done it. Let's do something different. I know not a lot of devs work that way, but that's kind of how the attitude I'd have towards it. Like if I nailed it, if I didn't nail it, if there were still bugs, if there were still a lot of features that were missing, then yeah, I would like my sequel would be more like the first game, because that means the first one probably didn't get finished. I probably had to rush it out, something along those lines. But if it's truly nailed, if some, you know, like if the DLC cycle is really just like plugging new stuff in, not so much patching new holes and, you know, new concepts or whatever, then it's really kind of, you know, in my opinion, kind of time to retire the formula and then revisit it anew. The other game I was going to play tonight, before I got so hooked up on this, was oh, you know what? Maybe there's a thing in the menu for collecting flour. I didn't think about that. Like a thing you gotta buy. I feel like it crossed my mind just a hair, but I didn't actually fully commit to the thought. Dragon Quest Builders 2. As I mentioned, I'm so out of Dave the Diver to play. So very out of Dave the Diver to play. But I got a feel for the gameplay, you know, for the Dave the Diver, you know, just the management, the construction, and, you know, I kind of miss Minecraft too. I honestly wish Minecraft didn't suck, you know. I honestly do. There's a sequel coming. Another, you know, I'm not even sure where they are. I think maybe Sweden, maybe somewhere in Norway. Developer is making a game called it ends with a J. It's got a weird name, but it's just like not a portmanteau, but it's just like a funny way of spelling a word you fully understand. Reforged, that's what's Reforj. And it's basically the Minecraft sequel. As I understand it, it's been made by someone, a prominent Minecraft mod developer, who was eventually snapped up by a proper development house, and now they're turning his, you know, essentially collection of Minecraft mods into the biggest, baddest Minecraft sequel, you know, they could cook together. At least that's their plan. And it's, you know, it's what you think it is. It's blocky, you fly around, you put, you know, stuff there, you can build things, blah, blah, blah. It's not even in early access. They just put out like a first release, like a first reveal trailer, because I'm assuming, like, you know, gamers are going to tear anything that tries to be Minecraft apart. So I'm confident they are gonna keep their cards pretty close to the vest until they're ready to call it quote-unquote ready. Nonetheless, you know. Pipe out. Hedo. I mean, well, let's see what's happening with my flower production. Hate the way the walking is weird. It's, again, it's a farming sim, not a fun farming game. It cost me money. I thought I bought the place. Then you know what? We're just switching to selling. We're just switching to selling. I don't know how we're selling. But let's see if there's a thing here that says like flower technology. Skid steers, no. Augers at forest, harvest, potato. This is what I mean, right? It's just like, do you know how to farm? No? Well, fun. Here, let's just hang on just a second here. No, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's 27 minutes. This farming simulator. Nobody needs to see more of this than we're already doing. So, I'm gonna go ahead and flippity floppity flip you guys here. Give you a shout outs for watching. Just request you hit the subscribe button. Maybe the like button. Maybe leave me a comment. Let me know if you enjoy the content or you hate the content. Because that, you know, that's direction for me. And more videos to come, you know. By now there's more videos. Actually, theoretically, I got more than Farming Simulator done this week. But if not, trust me, they're coming back, man. God of War, Hollow Knight, you name it. So, flippity floppity flip. Shoutouts to you for watching.